Hey everybody, welcome back to Partly Cloudy, where we're still taking that clone of the Microsoft News app from File New all the way up to just about deploying it to the App Store. My name is Matt Sokup, and let's take a look at what we had from last time. Our app from last time is sitting over on the right. It's calling out to a function. It's calling out to Bing News API. It's sitting within Xamarin.Forms shell. And it's also doing some logging in to Azure B2C via App Center. The one over on the left is doing the exact same thing, except it's doing it in a way better looking way. So the reason why it's better looking is because it's not using the list view. It's using a thing in Xamarin.Forms called the CollectionView. Now the CollectionView is new and experimental, but it's awesome. It's so awesome that you're going to want to use it today in your apps. What it can do is that it can display lists in both a vertical, horizontal, and grid mode. Not only that, is that it supports multiple item selection to your list. Whoa. It even has empty item templates, meaning if the list that you're binding the CollectionView to doesn't have any items to it, it's going to have a view that says, hey, I don't have anything to display. So this collection view is like the next iteration of the list view. In fact, it's going to make you forget everything about the list view, the collection view. Let's see how we can implement that. So the collection view does everything that a list view does, and then more. It even hosts the same type of views. So what I've did is I gone ahead and I created a couple different types of views that we can display in it. One's called the feature image article tile, and we can see it here. It binds to a featured image, it binds to a category, a headline. What it's doing is that it's just displaying data that's coming back from my Azure function. Cool. So what I want to do then is instead of just displaying the headline in my list view, I'm going to comment that out, and then I'm going to replace that with a collection view. So I'm going to say a collection view, and I'm going to call it xname, and I'm going to give it the exact same name as before, news list. So this allows me to use the same population techniques as I was using before. And then my item template within that is going to be a static resource. And that static resource is going to be article selector. Now this article selector is right here. It's a data template selector. It's the same data template selector that you would use if you're doing a list view. So here, the collection view is almost like a drop-in replacement for the list view. Almost. Not quite, but it's almost there. So we have some data templates, the featured image article tile as I mentioned before, and there's another one which is a little bit smaller one where the image isn't as big. All right, we're almost ready to run. Another thing I want to add though is the selection mode here. And as I mentioned before, you can select one, none, or many. I want to make sure we can select one. Great. And then the final things I want to do before we can actually run it, since the collection view is experimental, it's sitting behind a feature flag. And the feature flag looks like this. So I want to add that to my app delegate and to my main activity. So they're run before the Xamarin.Forms init function, and it's just telling it, hey, I'm going to be using the collection. All right. That's all I needed to change to use from the list view to the collection view. So let's see this run. All right, we are up and running. And just like that, it looks way better. It almost looks like our finished app now. We have the big featured image role. We have smaller horizontal image tiles. It looks really good. One thing though is that we're not able to actually click and go yet. So let's put that in next. All right, so in order for us to go with the collection view, I'm going to use selection change. And I'm going to actually put in the exact same event handler as we had before. This way I can just change the little things and make it work. So it's going to be selection change event args coming in instead of the one before. And so my selected item then is now going to be current selection, and I have to use an array-based 0. Now I'm using this because I'm only doing a single one at a time. Had I been doing multiples, there might be many coming in. But single, I feel pretty safe just going with the 0. And I am going to comment out this at the bottom because I don't want it to null out on me. That's all I should do. It's almost a drop-in replacement collection view for the list view. Let's run it. All right, here we are. It's back up. I click on something and it goes over. Pretty neat. It's up, it's running. I have navigation between my views. We're getting there. We're getting there. One more thing I wanted to add is that empty item template. So I'm going to paste in the empty item template right here. It's as easy as saying CollectionView.emptyView and then a stack layout with the label inside of it. So I could put whatever view I wanted to be in it. But that's what it's going to look like for me. And another thing I wanted to show off is over on the My Interests page, I'm going to have another collection view. And within that, I'm going to call it a grid items layout. And what that's going to show off is a 3-item column grid, and it's going to show an interest pile for its item template. All right, let's see this run. You can see we had the little news template there while it loaded up. That empty template said, hey, I don't have anything there for that view. I'm going to show the empty one until something came back. I'll click on the top news and we'll see the same thing. Empty, the data came back. Cool. Let's see the grid for the My Interests. And we see the grid comes up 3 by 3 across and as many down as we need. That's the collection view. Pretty neat. So there we have it. Our app is now really looking like the finished one. Collection view, shell, we're calling out to Azure Functions, Big News API. So what we're going to do next, though, in the next episode, is that we're going to use the authentication that we grabbed from Azure AD B2C through App Center. And then we're going to take our preferences for the news that we want to see via that My Interests page, and we're going to store them in Azure Cosmos DB and have that follow us around. And to get at Azure Cosmos DB, we're going to use App Center and a really nice SDK for it. All right, till next time, my name's Matt Sokup. This has been Partly Cloudy. Catch you later.